Most of you aren't subscribed. Make sure to subscribe, as it helps out the channel. Without further ado, returning home, Haruto introduces Liza to his parents and Char, asking if Liza could work for them as a maid. Happy to see the Blizzard Dragon as an adorable girl, Haruto's mother and Char warmly welcome Liza, with Char offering Liza to be her friend, flustering Liza. Personally thinking of the pros and cons, Haruto's father is in disbelief that such a powerful dragon is compressed into a little girl, but nonetheless, Haruto's father states that he'll allow Liza to live with them as long as she follows the rules. Taking Liza outside, Flay begins her maid training, warning Liza to take her maid duties seriously if she wants to stay by Haruto's side. Personally showing off her skills, Flay states that she'll be testing Liza today to gauge her skills, asking Liza to clean the outside first. Surprisingly, Liza finishes quickly, making Flay a little worried. Next up, Flay and Liza move on to cleaning dishes, both side by side competing to clean the most dishes. By the end, Flay has accidentally snapped all her dishes, and Liza has successfully cleaned all of hers. Moving on, Flay tests Liza's cooking skills, personally attempting to create her own dish, but Flay accidentally burns her dish. Elegantly, Liza is able to whip up a nice stew, impressing everyone but Flay. Personally serving her own assortment of meals to the family, Haruto's father and mother are quite impressed with these new dishes, all whilst Flay sits in a corner depressed. Seeing a stain on Char's face, Liza helps clean Char's face, prompting Haruto's mother to state how Liza is a quick learner, asking if there are any other talents that Liza may have. Pondering for a bit, Liza mentions how she had read a couple magic books, so she does have some proficiency with magic. Hearing that Liza has combat experience, Haruto's mother officially assigns Liza as Char's personal maid, which Liza happily accepts. The next morning, Liza takes the role of Char's personal maid seriously, waking Char up and taking her to train. Conjuring up a water spell, Liza instructs Char on the incantation, enabling Char to conjure up a fireball of her own. Throughout the day, Liza is by Char's side, helping her study. Several days pass, and Haruto is called by Char, showing off her amazing progression with her fire spell, able to create a huge fireball. Turning to Liza, Haruto realizes that Liza is casting a water spell to wash clothes, all whilst teaching Char, shocking Haruto since Liza is very efficient. Asking if Liza is exhausted having to adopt the routine of a maid, Liza states that she actually feels calm when doing chores and hanging out with Char. Afraid that she may be burdening Liza, Char asks Liza to be honest with her feelings, asking if Liza could not just be her maid, but her friend. With Haruto approving of this friendship, Liza accepts Char's proposal, exciting Char. Seeing as Liza is a fast learner, Haruto realizes that Liza could be the attendant he needs for school, but upon seeing Char and Liza's friendship, he can't tear those two apart. Before Haruto leaves, he realizes that he can simply use his teleportation magic to guarantee that Liza can travel back and forth, allowing Char and himself to share Liza. Cutting to the log hut, Char is seen depressed, as the show she had been watching had just ended, but Haruto reassures Char that a new show will come out soon, and that should replace her boredom. With Char's break over, Liza and Char head back to training, but right before Char leaves, Haruto informs Char that he'll be starting school next week at the kingdom. In shock, Char sneaks off to hold a meeting with her knights, thanking Liza, Flay, Johnny and Gigan for attending her round table meeting. Getting right down to business, Char reveals that she had heard Haruto will be attending school soon, surprising Flay, as she hadn't heard anything of the sort from Haruto. Since Haruto is already so powerful, Flay wonders what the reincarnated Demon King would need to learn from humans, but hearing Haruto referred to as the Demon King, Char gets curious, but Flay realizes that she shouldn't have let that slip, making Char sad that Haruto is keeping secrets from her. Seeing Char sad, Johnny speaks up, stating that Haruto values Char highly, and that Haruto will eventually reveal everything to Char. Hearing this, Char can't help but get flustered, being so important to her brother, only to resume the meeting. Char asks for any ideas on why Haruto would willingly go, revealing that there was one time when she was watching an anime set in a high school, and had asked Haruto what it's like to go to school. Upon glancing at Haruto, she noticed Haruto's darkened face, almost as if he was afraid of even talking about the topic. Hearing this, the others are surprised that Haruto could even be scared of anything, but Char states that she has theories on what things at school could scare Haruto. Listening to her theory regarding the student council being corrupt, Char manages to convince the others that the school truly is a terrifying place, prompting Char to announce that herself, Flay and Liza will head to the school to gather information and Johnny with Gigan will stay here to make any extra preparations. Before the meeting ends, they all agree to keep their meetings along with the upcoming mission a secret, as they are all doing what's best to protect Haruto. Comedically that night, we see Liza updating Haruto on everything that had transpired during their roundtable meeting, which earns Haruto's gratitude, as things might have been ruined if Char and his servants acted up. Speaking up, Liza asks Haruto if he is truly facing evil forces in the school, but Haruto knows that he should play along so as to not ruin Liza's imaginations. Replying that he does have a greater enemy in the school he'll be attending, Haruto uses the opportunity to ask Liza to be his attendant, which Liza gladly accepts. The next morning we follow Flay and the maids who take care of the mansion, discussing their issues in their life. As the maids begin discussing their worries with their significant others, Flay offers suggestions to simply cut out their significant others, as the maids are clearly too attached to them. Later that day, Char asks Flay about her maid outfit, learning that Flay had to get her maid uniform custom made, to compensate for her huge breast. Spotting Liza flying around, Char asks if Flay could teach her flight magic, prompting Flay to show off her impromptu flight spell, but when Haruto's mother learns of Char wanting to learn such a dangerous spell, she forbids Char from learning flight magic, as Char is still too young. Returning to the hut, Liza asks Haruto to explain his teleportation magic, curious at the type of magic needed to cast such an advanced spell. As Haruto begins explaining the concept of teleportation, Liza realizes that she can't sense any mana being used when Haruto casts his teleportation magic, meaning that Haruto's teleportation spell does not follow the laws of this world, as all spells are meant to use up mana. With it being bath time, Char and Liza spend time in a hot spa that Haruto had constructed for them, teasing Flay, who is afraid of the unusually hot water. With some convincing, Flay eventually hops into the bath, immediately falling in love with the steamy conditions the bath has to offer. That night, Haruto assesses the girls' mana levels, bringing an orb starting with Flay who has achieved a level of 40 out of a max level of 77 and Liza who has a level of 36 and a max level of 71. Moving on to Char, Haruto is amazed that a human child like Char is already level 17 and has the max level of 61, realizing that the Flash Queen Gizelette only had a max level of 44. Stating that with some extra training, Char will easily reach her max peak and surpass Flay and Liza, but this prompts Char to reveal that when she was just born, apparently she was able to conjure up fireballs, and this is what led to her mother sealing away her powers. With all the girls measured, they ask for Haruto's level, all believing that it surpasses a 100, but Haruto refuses to reveal his level, as the magic orb still displays he has a max level of 2. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like and comment.